Right guys, exciting news. World's Strongest Man have announced the dates for this year's competition. We're looking at the 24th of May to the 29th of May. The contest is back in Sacramento in California. We knew that already, but we've been waiting eagerly for the dates. If you check out our 2022 timeline video somewhere around here, you'll see we kind of expected this show to be around the May time, and this is the perfect time. Looking at the schedule of other big competitions, I think this is the ideal placement. Not too close to any other major shows.
No.
I mean, obviously April, we've got Europe's Strongest Man and some big contests coming up, but there's enough time for the guys to recover, and then there's nothing right in front of it as well. So perfectly timed there by World's Strongest Man. It's nice to see we're in January and the athletes have got the dates. This is early for World's Strongest Man, so this is good to see. Steps are being made in the right direction. I like this lots. So let's see what World's Strongest Man have put out.
Welcome once again to Sacramento, California.
This could be it, you know. I don't think he's going to get over. Oh, he has! He has. Unbelievable! My goodness! Oh my goodness! First time he takes two motions and he gets it!
So it's really good to see they've gone back to 30 athletes. Because since, was it 2018? 25 we've had. And there's logistical problems of having 25 athletes in 5 groups. Because when you're doing a head-to-head, some poor schmuck's always got to go on his own, hasn't he?
Well, I like 6 in a group. It makes the groups a little more challenging. So I am a fan of this move, giving more athletes a chance to get to World's Strongest Man. I think most of you that watch our channel regularly know I would like to just see a bigger final.
Yeah.
But if I can't have that, this is the next big or next improvement that I'm happy to see. Back up to 30 athletes. Like we said, 6 in each group makes it more of a competition. 5 is, and then with like a stone off and stuff like that, sometimes people are starting to panic and one little tiny mistake can cost you. So I'm pretty happy to see this move. You can kind of spread athletes out a little bit more, and like I said, it gives 5 other guys a chance. I don't want to be the guys that are going to have to select all of these athletes.
No.
Now that, as we know, we've kind of
tried playing around with that, haven't we?
We will have, as always, kind of put our kind of 2 pence into who we think is worthy of being at World's Strongest Man. We'll do that a little bit close to the time. But 30 of the top guys in the world will be competing in Sacramento.
24th to the 29th, that's 6 days. We know there'll be a rest day in the middle between the groups and the final. So what are we thinking? 3 days for the groups, 2 days for the final?
Yeah, that kind of makes most sense. Over the years, it's kind of condensed. It used to be a much longer show, World's Strongest Man.
2 weeks we were there for.
Yeah, and the time frame has kind of been condensed. They're getting more done in a shorter period of time. I can't see them doing anything less than 2 days for the final.
No.
And obviously the heats with 30 guys to get through, they need a bit more time. So athletes will be looking at doing 1 or 2 events a day, normally is kind of standard. It may be 2 events for each group this time round. I mean, I've been to World's Strongest Man where it's 4 days for the heats.
Yeah.
And you might do 2-1, 2-1, 2-2, 1-1. It was kind of, it depended on which group you were in, which I think with 3 days, you're probably looking at each group doing 2 events a day.
Now, you've been talking to the World's Strongest Man, haven't you? And while they're not giving anything away, they're saying the events are really exciting this year. Well,
they're looking forward to the competition. I think we may see some new events this year. We're going to see the return of some athletes that have missed out on World's Strongest Man for a couple of years. Obviously, defending champions that are going to be competing again. You know, Novikov, Tom Stoltman, the likes of Lissis, Kiliashkovsky. There's going to be some amazing battles. And then you've got so many great guys that, you know, Evan Singleton wants to make his mark. There's Trey Mitchell, Maxime Boudreau, who was 3rd last year. There's just going to be so many interesting concepts of potential battles when it comes to who's going to be in what group.
There's going to be some good guys that don't make the final again, and you think there will probably be at least 4 current and former champions there: Brian Shaw, Alexei Novikov, Martins Lissis, and Tom Stoltman. And you know, if someone like Zydrunas decided he wanted to do it, and you never know with Zydrunas.
This year, if he decides he wants to do it.
Former champions are allowed back any time. That would be 5.
It would be quite incredible to see 5 former champions in the show.
Yeah.
See if Zadrunas is motivated for that. But like we said, we'll talk about athletes at another time.
Okay, sorry.
Tickets. Now, World's Strongest Man have announced that tickets will be available. This is a newer format as well, only kind of really starting in the last couple of years.
Wow, I think it's interesting because obviously 2020, no one could go anyway because of COVID restrictions, and that really worked in their favour. I mean, they had a lot working against them in 2020. They had the
Huge amounts,
hurricane and travel issues and everything. But actually, being able to control the flow of information and content really worked in their favour. Then last year they started introducing a ticket system, and people didn't pay for tickets. It came like on a, I don't know, a random generator or first come first serve basis. And it looks like they're going to continue that going forward. Now it's weird because back in the day, you had quite a few people on their holiday. What's going on over there? Oh, look, it's a competition. I'll go and pop over. And that's basically how it was, wasn't it? Because it was often in sort of holiday destinations.
It wasn't proper fans watching Strongman back then. It was just kind of locals or people on a holiday that kind of, oh, what are these big lumps doing?
Well, then we got to a point. Do you remember like Malaysia, the group stages?
Yeah.
It was me there, Graham Hicks's wife. There was literally about 5 people watching, and it was a point where there was no crowd at all. But then when it returned to America, I think 2019 was when I really noticed how massive it had suddenly become and how many people were willing to travel, not being completely certain of the location a lot of time, but knowing when it would be to get to watch World's Strongest Man, standing out in the hot sun all day. It's a shame that...
Well, we know... our thoughts of, we think fans should be allowed to go and watch Strongman, and we know you guys think the same. So it's good that World's Strongest Man are kind of considering that now, and they have announced, if you go on their website, you can apply to get tickets through.
I want to know the capacity.
Well, Liz will keep asking questions.
Okay.
We'll bring you the information that we know for now. But what we know for now, the dates, we know we are being increased to 30 athletes from the 25 that we've seen over the last few years. It's in Sacramento, California. We knew that part anyway. So, not too long.
No, it feels like it's...
And, I mean, this year is already getting super exciting. We've got like, Britain's Strongest Man coming up in a few weeks. Then we've got the Arnolds. Then it's just a roller coaster of shows. And then World's Strongest Man in May. There's some big battles coming. And I think World is going to be absolutely epic this year.
What would you say to the fans who are a bit disgruntled, maybe about the way World's Strongest Man is televised and the fact that they've still got to wait such a long time to see the full show and they don't care as much anymore?
Make sure you come to our channel to find out the results.
Well, what I was actually hoping you'd say was that it's still the competition that athletes care the most about.
Well, World's Strongest Man is the biggest show. There's no arguing of that.
No.
When you're talking about from a fan's perspective and worldwide recognition.
Yes.
The Arnold's is huge, the Rogue is huge, but they don't bring in the amount of fans and just general interest that World's Strongest Man does. It is without question, and I'm still talking heavily, the most popular show in the world. It's the biggest show. To call yourself the World's Strongest Man is the title every single one of these athletes wants to win. Sure, they want to win all these other ones, but the World's Strongest Man, being able to call yourself the World's Strongest Man, that is key.
Yeah.
And you look at guys like Eddie Hall. Eddie never won the Arnolds.
No.
But he can call himself the World's Strongest Man. That's huge.
And plenty of people that aren't really fans of the sport but are fans of him, they will still call him the World's Strongest Man. To him, that like, who's the World's Strongest Man? I don't know, Eddie Hall.
No one can ever take it away from you as well. When you've got that title, Magnus Samuelsson won in 1998.
Only 22. Is it still 22 guys have done it?
22 or 23 it might be, that have won that title. It's a major title. It's got the longest history going back all the way to 1977. World's Strongest Man 2022 is going to be epic. While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.